Welcome to day two of cracking the autoimmune code. I am so happy to welcome you for the second day of this amazing masterclass series. I am just going to check my audio, my video before we get going. So, if you're online here, I can see I can't see the names. So if you can share your names and where you logging in from, that would be great. Let's start there. I'm just going to check about Facebook also. So if you can just share where you logging in from, what was your key? Yeah, I think that's fine. It's working. Everything is on. Is my audio clear? Can you see me clearly? Share where you are from and what are you excited about today? So I'm just going to give us, everyone a chance to drop in. And also, before we get started, I would like to announce the winners of yesterday's three giveaways for rupees 500 Amazon gift cards, for showing up live, for sharing their insights, takeaways, engaging in the comments in the group. So number one is Raina. So I'm going to make sure that my team member Manoj gets in touch with you. So that's Raina. Then there's Sudha, and then there is Benefer. So that's Raina, Sudha, and Benefer. Congratulations, you've won yourself a gift card. Raina, yes, you're here. I can see you. I mean, I can. So I'm going to share those names with with Manoj, my team member, and he will get in touch with you for the gift cards. And so we will get started. I am just checking. Yes, I think I am visible and audible on Facebook as well. We'll just give it another minute. So tell me what has been your key takeaway. If you can share it in the chat, what has been your key takeaway from day one? I would love to hear from you. What has been your key takeaway? What is one thing that you have learned? One new thing that has sort of shifted for you? Maybe it's something you didn't know earlier. So, what is one thing that you have learned? So just put it in the comment. Yes, you're most welcome, Raina. My throat is slightly better, but it's still there, so I'm going to keep sipping on something warm. So just we are just getting started. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching me live on Facebook, welcome. I'm just asking you to share where you're logging in from, which city you're logging in from, and what has been your key takeaway so far, or something that has shifted for you, something new that you have learned on day one. Just put it in the comments below. I would love to hear before we get started for another action-packed hour right here. So while you are putting in your sharing your thoughts, I'm going to get started so that we don't waste time. And I want to go through all of this. And also, just to let you know that my team member Palak is going to be there. Okay, yeah, my team member Palak is is already there. So she was there yesterday. She shared her story, and today we have another special guest coming up, Shonali. She is going to be coming up live as well and sharing her story. So that's something that is really, really inspiring and insightful. So I hope that you stay till the end. She's going to share hers as well in a while. Okay, let's get started so that we can get through. So, today is about overcoming skepticism, right? And the reason that I'm starting with this is that a lot of times we are not really um, convinced that we can really get better, or that we can see much improvement because we've pretty much tried everything and it's not really maybe worked very well for us, right? So that is why I named today's session Overcoming Skepticism, because that's what we will be doing. I'll be sharing real stories. I'll be sharing my story. I think that gives us an idea as to what to look forward to, what is really possible, basically. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time today, a little bit about me. My name is Anindita, of course, and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and a functional medicine practitioner. And I have been working since 2017. When I started working, it was with all kinds of health issues, but now I primarily work with women with autoimmune conditions and help them make all the changes that they need to in their lifestyle, their diet, their mindset, their thoughts, all of it. It's basically mind, body, and spirit, so that there is a long lasting transformation. There is that. This is what a holistic approach is all about. It goes beyond physical health, it goes beyond mere physical symptoms. It's, and you will hear, when you hear the stories that we will be sharing, you will understand what I mean. So let's get going. And again, a little bit, because I share this so that you have an idea of some of the things that everyone goes through. Because here I am in front of you, sharing my story, sharing my client stories of transformation. And so because I want you to know it's possible for you too. And I feel blessed to be the first functional medicine certified health coach in the country in 2017 when I started. And I'm at the forefront of this functional medicine revolution in India that is picking up steam, because it is actually the solution for all kinds of chronic conditions, including autoimmune disease. But I remember a time that I was filled with doubts and worries. I felt all alone as I was trying to make a sense of my daughter's health challenges and try to uncover a solution. Of course, my family was there. I mean, we were all doing it together, but I was the one who was driving it, and I just couldn't see a way out. And then yesterday I mentioned that I did work with a functional medicine practitioner. This was in way back in 2015, and I had already taken her off gluten and dairy, and it was so hard at that time. Nobody knew about gluten, dairy, vegan, keto. These were not even in anybody's radar. So when what it meant is that when I took out these kind of foods, we could hardly eat outside. We could hardly go anywhere. We could not travel, and this went on for couple of years actually, more or less. I couldn't even send her to her friends' birthday parties because what could she eat? Everything is made with stuff that she could not eat. And I was convinced that food was actually going to help her in the long run. I didn't know when. So it was all confusing and uncertain. And, as I said, this was more than 8 years ago. So, things were not even available. So I would call up the mother, the parent, who are the basically the ones who decide about the menu before the birthday party, and ask them about the menu, because then I would try and make some of these foods. So she used to go to very limited birthday parties, and I used to make her some gluten-free cake, gluten-free brownie, not the best tasting ones in the world, because I have never baked, all these till then. And I used to make some of these things and send her, and she would actually just eat those foods because she'd been through so much till before that hospitalization, etc. She knew that, she had understood even at that very young age. She was only 8, that these foods would hopefully help her. So I used to actually make gluten-free sourdough breads before even sourdough was a thing. I could have opened a gluten-free bakery, and anyway, but it was such a hard time. And every time she had to say no to a birthday party, to an event, it would break my heart, because she had to say no to things that other people considered normal, right? And you may be dealing with some of this as well. Like, you have to say no to things that you can see others enjoying, others eating, and it's so hard. And she was just a child, and so whether it was eating out, whether it was swimming, whether it was outdoor activities, or people looking at her very strangely because of her skin condition and asking whether it's infectious. I would feel angry, and I would feel sad. So, it was a whole host of these emotions, and we had to deal with a lot of emotions and restrictions. And all I wanted to do was find a way to really help her to, so that she could dream, she could grow up and do what she wanted to do with her life, right? Live her life, not just to somehow manage and just go, like barely survive, but actually to live her life. And that's the exact reason why I am here today in front of you, sharing this story, sharing my client stories of transformation, because I want you to understand, what is really possible for you. And also I'm sharing the knowledge that I've gathered over the past decade. Actually, it's not just my training, but my own lived experiences, because I want to empower you to take charge of your own healing journey. Right? I don't ever want you to feel that you don't have any power, that you can't do, really do much, rather apart from just taking a medication or two, or just waiting for someone to tell you or give you permission to take better care of yourself. Right? I don't want you ever to do that. I want to leave you with tools that will help you to take charge of your health, right? No matter what your diagnosis, no matter where you are in your disease journey, disease progression, these are very basic tools. These are things that, which will help you no matter what. because this is the foundation that we are doing. And this is what I focus on a lot in my coaching practice, because it's also about taking responsibility for finding out what your unique body needs to thrive, right? Not just to survive, but to truly thrive. It's your responsibility, no one else's. No one else can do this work for you, but you don't have to do it alone. That's the good thing. I mean, a lot of it I did alone at that time, and that's exactly why I'm doing this masterclass series, that so that you don't have to do this all by yourself. You're in a community, this community, and hopefully beyond, where you will have the tools and you will have the support and the encouragement that is needed. Because why should you stop dreaming? Why should you stop living your life to the fullest? Why should you stop smiling? Why should you stop playing with your children just because you have a disease diagnosis or a disease condition? Why should you stop enjoying time spent with your family? Why should you stop enjoying your hobbies? Right? These are not things that you should give up. These are things that make us whole, that make us happy. This is what is, important. Our relationships, our family, the things that we love, that make us unique, right? So we all have that creative power. We are born with these gifts that we have to share with the world, right? And I don't want any of us to live from this world with our gifts unopened. That's really sad. So, and how we are going to do that is I'm going to show you some ways to, get better, find relief from your symptoms and your pain, simply by addressing the root causes, right? Will it solve 100% of your problems? Nobody knows. But yes, you will be a different person at the end of this 3 days or the 5 days, including the two bonus Q&A sessions that I have. That's certainly going to be true. Okay, so let's get going. Let's move ahead. This is what we covered on day one. We covered the perfect storm of autoimmunity. We talked about myths and truths. If you've missed day one, you can always go and watch the replay. You would have gotten a replay link. You can go to Facebook. We talked about a healthy immune response. We talked about how disease begins in the gut and functional medicine. So we will keep going deeper now. And today I'm going to talk about a very, very important topic of heal versus cure. I don't think you will hear of this enough from, what is the difference. And there is a big difference, and it's a very important difference. And what are the characteristics of chronic illnesses that makes it so hard to get rid of? And some of these things, 3 mistakes, changing perspectives around your symptoms, and again, some stories I want to share with you today, and introduction to the renew model. Like, this is the powerful model that I use inside my program that gets my client results, and I want to share that with you as well. And at the end of the day today, you will become clear why healing is possible even with no cure, because some conditions, especially chronic conditions, don't have a cure, which means that it doesn't, it's not that it's never going to come back, but what does it mean? It's what we're going to explore. Chronic conditions, most importantly, you are the expert on your health, right? So let's keep moving. So a lot of us get hung up on this, which is why I want to address it now. I'm going to take a bit of the cough syrup because my throat, just excuse me. So a lot of us get hung up on this. Conventional medicine, functional medicine, which one should I do? Which one is better? It's not about what is better or not. It is about what your body needs. And a lot of times it's actually both. You may need both at the same time, which means that you need medication so that you don't, your damage is basically restricted. And sometimes you need to start the functional medicine, implement functional medicine principles so that you actually start addressing the root causes. So this can go on simultaneously, like it does for many of my clients, or for my daughter. Like, she was on medications at the same time we were doing all that I'm sharing with you in this 3-day masterclass. So regular checkups are often necessary because you need to go to the doctor, make sure that there is your organs are not getting damaged even further. So these are complex chronic conditions, severe illnesses. Autoimmune conditions are no joke, as you know. So sometimes we need these medications to make sure that it's the damage is like sort of restricted, right? You don't want it to continue because some of the damage becomes irreversible. And moving on to heal versus cure, the reason I put this slide is this is something that I truly believe in, that has made a lot of this is what makes my program and my philosophy unique, different from others, because I talk a lot about healing, true healing, because healing is very different from cure, getting cured. Cure is perfect for acute conditions, infections, surgeries, emergencies, right? I mean, in that sense, where you need that expert approach and you need to go and get thing done. But healing, it goes beyond that, and healing is more applicable with chronic conditions. It can be applicable to acute conditions as well. But healing starts with where you are, right now, and it's a natural process. It's a and it does not depend on outside experts. It is in the reach of everyone, no matter what stage of diagnosis it is, because healing is about a willingness to address underlying imbalances, underlying deficiencies, right? So it is a holistic approach addressing mind, body, and spirit. That's what healing is about. Whereas cure is actually about symptom management. And sometimes you need both, but do not confuse one for the other. And certainly do not only keep looking for a cure for your condition. There is, a quick fix or a cure is, it doesn't go hand in hand with chronic illnesses. And you will understand why when we come to the slide about chronic illnesses. So it's available to everyone. It is emotional, it is physical, it is spiritual. So healing happens at different, there, it's a very multi-level transformation that healing is about, right? So which is why the beautiful thing about healing is it's in the reach of everyone. Even a terminally ill patient can heal herself or himself. He can That person can heal their relationships. That person can heal their relationship with their own body, with their own soul, with their family members. There's so many levels that you can heal yourself, right? Even if that person is going to be, terminally ill, doesn't have much time left, even then that person can heal themselves. So there is a beautiful book on this. It's called The Four Things That Matter Most by Dr. Ira Byock. If you want to read about, not healing, but what I was just talking about, then you can do that. And healing is actually a natural process. I mentioned that. It is also holistic and it's available to everyone. I think, yeah, the slide. And it's about personal growth and understanding your own body's wisdom, right? That's what actually healing is about. So I call it moving from being a weary warrior to an empowered warrior. That's what healing is actually about, right? So you're trying your best, you're like stuck in the same place, as I call it, a disease merry-go-round, and you've been able to move to being empowered and confident and owning your power because you've finally taken charge, right? So that's why I said moving from being an wary to an empowered warrior. And okay, I will share the book name. And this is what I love this quote because it actually tells us the true nature of healing. It's okay. I'm just going to share the quote here so that the book here, sorry. This is what, yeah, I'll just share the name of the book. So this is the book that actually led me till here. A lot of my thoughts and the philosophy that I follow in my coaching program is as a result of that. Now, the next slide, I realized much later, I'm not sure whether it will be, because it is a video, I might not be able to play it. I'll probably show you tomorrow. I realized later on, I apologize for that because I've been in a bit of a rush today. There's been some emergency. So I just moved away from that. I'm going to show that a video tomorrow. It's the same client that I spoke about. And the reason I'm showing you some of these stories is because I want you to understand that you need to think far beyond just managing your symptoms, right? And when I mean far beyond, it means mind, body, and spirit. And that's what all, if you see all my clients and even my philosophy, it's all about that. So before we go further, tell me what has been your one key takeaway so far, either from today or from yesterday. I just put it in the chat below. I would love to know. I am just checking here. Yeah, I would love to know what has been your one key takeaway. If you're watching it on Facebook, put it in the comments below. If you're watching this live on StreamYard, put it in the comments below. What has been your one key takeaway? This is actually my client. Palak is already here, my team member. She's worked with me earlier. She mentioned this in a feedback form that, that I would love it when I used to love it when you used to ask me, you know, what is not one key takeaway, and what are you celebrating this week? There were two questions that I bookend my coaching sessions with. So for you, the question is, what has been your one key takeaway so far from yesterday and today? And I will keep moving forward. Please share it in the chat box here and share it in the comments in the Facebook group. I would love to hear from you. I will keep moving forward, just to keep up with the time. And I've been talking about this, but I want to delve a bit more into this. Reversing the disease is not the same as finding a cure for it, but you can certainly put it in remission. Now, Western medicine, allopathic medicine, provides life-saving medications and treatments, and that has its place, as you know, right? It is absolutely necessary, but there are limitations that it has, severe limitations when it comes to chronic illnesses, because the very nature of chronic illnesses is that it is multifactorial, multiple factors, multiple triggers, and that is why there is no one medicine that can cure it. And then what happens is that when you take one medicine, then there are side effects, and then you start another medicine, then that might have side effects. So then you land up with I don't know how many medications, and these are and when you're talking about immune suppressive medications in the case of autoimmune conditions, each has severe side effects, right? So it's this polypharmacy that goes on, and it doesn't really solve the problem, which is why people remain stuck on medications for the rest of their life. And I don't want you to think that is the only way out, right? And that's why I am talking about all of this in so much details, right? And there is this book, another book. I will see that I am a lot into books. I love books. I think I get a lot of insights from there. This is called The Disease Delusion. He is known, Dr. Jeffrey Bland. He is known as the father of functional medicine, and he talks about the characteristics of chronic illnesses. This is an important slide. And again, you can read this book. It's called The Disease Delusion. Chronic illness does not heal by itself, so it's not going to get better on its own. It actually tends to grow worse over time because the underlying imbalances and deficiencies, unless they are addressed, it will not, get resolved on its own. And there is no, I mentioned, there's no one single factor. And a chronic illness has complex symptom profiles, right? There are multiple things going on in the background. And a lot of times, if you saw the slide from yesterday, I talked about the perfect storm. A lot of times there is one thing, like one particular illness, one infection, one vaccine, one thing, or one stressful time frame, that is the that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. That means all the other things were already in place: your genetics, your intestinal permeability, a weak or an imbalanced immune system, and then the final thing that happened was something just set it off. And when I talk to prospective clients, when I talk to my clients, they'll tell me, oh, I remember now that I actually took this, or I had this infection, and then suddenly autoimmune conditions sort of just developed. It didn't develop suddenly, of course. None of these diseases develop overnight, but all the other things were already in place, and it was that one trigger that the body could not compensate, right? So I want you to understand this part. But having said that, what I also want you to understand is that you can still become free from your symptoms and take charge of your health, right? That is still possible for you. And the reason for that is that you are the expert. You are the expert on your body, your life, and your health. No one else is. So when you start taking responsibility for your healing process, for your healing journey, that's when the magic happens. And then when we hear about Shonali, you will see that that is, how that happened for her. Yesterday you heard from Palak. So that's how it is. And but why is it? I mean, before, I want to change tracks a bit here as it and to just explain to you why is it that we are all in this kind of a situation? Why is it that the world has progressed so much with modern technology, medical sciences, everything, but the major disease of the 21st century are chronic illnesses, right? And autoimmunity, cancer, diabetes. Why is it? Actually, while there is no one particular thing, but one main factor is our modern lifestyle. A typical modern lifestyle may not be for everyone, but most people are in that situation, right? So whether it's toxins, whether it's stress, high levels of stress, whether it's pollution, whether it's processed foods, all of it is actually making us sick and keeping us sick. And it's in fact, it's actually nowadays it's become more difficult to stay healthy. I mean, if you don't do anything, most people will head towards disease. It's that's the unfortunate part. And the reason I do these sessions and I'm so passionate about this topic is that I am very, very aware of the world that we're living for our children. One is our own health, of course, but what kind of world are we living for our children, right? Where we are sort of all these things they are inheriting. So I want to make sure that I empower as many women, send spread this message to as many women as I can, so that they can, once they get better, they understand, or you understand what it actually is, what's really happening, then you can make that change in your own family, in your own community. And I've seen this again and again and again, that when the woman actually changes, and she changes her health, she changes her mindset, she changes her behavior, she's the one who's doing everything for the family. The whole family benefits. As the family benefits, a lot of times it ripples out to friends and the community. So it has a ripple effect, and that's actually the reward that my work brings me. So again, all of this is our modern lifestyle. I think this the picture says 1,000 words. So I don't want to get into that. But yes, this slide I'm bringing back today. If you were not here yesterday, this is a very, very important slide, because this sort of tells you what actually the progression is all about. I mean, any kind of disease progression that is related to immune system dysregulation. And immune system dysregulation is at the heart of or any kind of autoimmune condition. You've noticed that I have not really delved into what are the kinds of autoimmune diseases, etc., because all that information is available online, right? I don't need to educate you about MS particularly, or Graves, or Hashimoto's. I mean, I can do that, but that information you will get online. I mean, you can go to Google and search, and you will get all of it. But what you will not probably get is that all of these diseases have at their root immune dysregulation. That's what you need to understand. Unlike cancer, where there is only one name, you can have breast cancer, prostate cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, depending on which organ is damaged or affected, rather. Autoimmunity doesn't have that. It has all kinds of different names, which makes it so confusing, which is why I talk about it, right? So, immune dysregulation, primarily processed foods or crap food, toxins and stress, and you have disease, you have overactive immune system on one side and underactive immune system on the other side, right? So, when you move to the right, it is showing underactive immune system. That means that there's chronic infection going on, maybe severe infection ongoing, all the time. UTI, yeast infection, ongoing. IBS, dysbiosis. So all of it is there. It's a spectrum. Nobody is black. It's not like a black and white. You can actually move between these things also. Right? It's not static. That's what I'm trying to say. It will keep shuffling. And then you also can have a overreactive immune system, when you have the allergies and the eczema. So your immune system is reacting to anything and everything that comes its way. Like, it's hyper vigilant and long activated. And then it can also move towards autoimmunity, which is an extreme form of hypervigilance. So it is actually food, as I said, toxins, so low nutrient foods, processed foods, malabsorption, all of these toxins. Toxins are a different category by itself, and it would need a different webinar. And I have done workshops in the past on toxins, but just to suffice to let you know that they hamper, they affect detoxification capabilities. So it's a double whammy. It not only sort of uses up a lot of our nutrients, because to get rid of the toxins we use up nutrients, and then it can also hamper the detoxification, and energy production. So a lot of things get hampered where, as far as toxins are concerned. And then stress, and I'm talking about chronic stress. When I talk about stress, it's not that stress is bad. There's nothing wrong with stress. We need stress, we need cortisol to in order to survive. It's the chronic stress, the ongoing stress that never stops, right? And some of it is we have to take responsibility for that. So again, stress can also is also a big factor, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, all of it, right? And this is another important slide that I had shared yesterday, but I am sharing today, because this is what you need to understand, that disease often begins in the gut, which is why specifically in autoimmunity related diseases, we look at the gut first. We address the gut first. And it can start with very, very minor symptoms such as headache, anemia, things that just come and go, but then maybe becoming chronic over time. And then it can move to more, serious form of it, which is the gastrointestinal disease, which affects motility. Motility means the passing of stool in your intestine. So constipation, belching, bloating, and all of the other things. And then there's inflammation. So there is inflammation, so asthma. So these are all conditions where your immune system is actually creating antibodies, and this is part of the inflammatory response, right? But it's an ongoing response, that is, it's a problem. And of course, then you have the extreme case. So as you can see, it happens over a period of time. None of these things develop overnight, right? That's the most important thing you need to understand. Are we all on the same page? You can hear me clearly. You can understand what I'm sharing. Just drop me a thumbs up or a smiley so that I know that you are able to understand what I'm sharing here. I'm not going too fast for you. So just drop me a emoji or a smiley and just let me know that you are able to hear me and understand what I'm sharing. Before I move on to, so just put it in the comments below. You're watching this on Facebook. Drop a emoji in the comments so that I know that you're able to, hear me clearly as well. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, that inflammation is a natural response. It's a survival mechanism by our immune system. It creates antibodies. It keeps us alive. And these are the signs of inflammation, right? It's the ongoing inflammation which is a problem. That these are the typical signs. So, which is why these, one of the things that we are doing here in this masterclass series is decoding your symptoms, right? And this is what I'm doing. This is over these 3 days, you will learn to understand that your symptoms are these messages. They're not happening randomly. There are reasons why you have a headache or you have a congestion or something. It's a message from your body that something is wrong, something is missing, something has to be addressed, something is deficient, right? So these are the kind of some of the signs of inflammation that you can have, and it's always best to address any of these things at as early as possible, right? So I tell my clients that when it is a whisper is when you address it rather than it becoming a scream, right? Because it sort of keeps building up and building up, and a lot of times we end in a situation where body is not able to manage, because inflammation is necessary for survival and human functioning, necessary for healing a wound. So inflammation is all of it is important. That's not the problem. The problem is chronic inflammation, the ongoing inflammation. So I'm going to just stop here and I'm going to ask you to share what is one thing that you have learned so far. So I'm going to give you a minute to answer. If you have any questions, you can start dropping in. Will make a note of that, and I'll be doing a short Q&A at the end. But I would like you to just drop in the chat. If you're watching on Facebook, put it in the comments and just tell me what is something new that you have learned today. And I'm just going to take a sip or two of water. So just drop in the comments in Facebook if you're watching it, and on the chat in StreamYard, what is something that you have learned today? Just go ahead. Yeah. So what is something that you did not know before this? What is something that you've learned today? So while you are putting it down in the chat, I will move ahead with now talking about a few things that you need to focus on, that you can start focusing on immediately. Okay. Because what I want you to understand is this: a healthy outside starts from the inside, right? So what you are eating, what you are doing, what you're putting in your body, what you're putting on your body, all of it is important. All of it. Okay. What you're thinking. I think a lot of times we are so focused on diet and supplements, right? We just want to know what is the right diet. Should I be gluten free? Should I be dairy free? Or all of that. And then supplements. How many supplements should I take? Which supplements? That's not enough, right? We also have our thoughts, we have the environment, we have the mindset. All of it is important. Okay, I think I can't make out who's this. It says Facebook user. A modern lifestyle is responsible for the immune system dysregulation. Yes, it is contributing to it big time. So we need to find ways to make changes at an individual level, at a global level, at a country level. That's something that's not in our hands. But at an individual level, at a family level, at a community level, yes, we can make certain changes starting with ourselves. And then hopefully it will have a ripple effect, right? As we improve our own health, as others see that. I mean, like the classic case here is Palak, who joined joined my team as a health coach, where she got better. So she's made the changes in her family, in her life, and she's seen improvements. So she decided to then do this and share her experience and knowledge with others. So that's how it works. Like we can each do our bit. Chronic inflammation is the problem. Yes, because it is as basic as this, right? And this is the part that we often overlook because we want a diet, we want a supplements, we overlook the foundation. You cannot build a strong building or a any kind of thing without a strong foundation. This is your foundation, right? So hydration, eating hygiene, nutrient dense food. It's not really about which label of food you should be consuming. You should be having keto or gluten, free or all of that. It's not about that. It is about nutrient dense, unrefined, unprocessed, whole, fresh, home cooked, all of it. It's about that. And then the second part of it is that it is also about now what food is suiting your body, right? So it's not so much about what label of food are you consuming. Toxin avoidance, regular bowel movements. You need to clear the metabolites from the hormones, the toxins, all of it from the body, right? So that is very, very important. You need to create a belief in yourself that your body can actually overcome this illness. And if we act, what we believe in affects the our body. Like there is a direct connection, and there is actually a connection between the brain and the gut, and the gut and the brain, and the gut talks to the brain, I think, two times more than the brain talks to our gut. So whatever we are thinking and feeling, it's affecting each and every part of our body, right? So that is there. Then regular movement, moving your body. It's not just about exercise, it's actually about movement. I again, this is a misconception that we have, that I know I need to go to the gym and I need to exercise. That's not true. You need to move your body. Our bodies are designed for movement, right? So if you can move your body by swimming, by walking, by cycling, yes. After that, what all you need to do, maybe do some weight training and resistance training. As we grow older, muscles become weaker. So all of that is fine, but the basic point is that you need to move your body. We are not meant to be sedentary for 8 hours, 10 hours, and then suddenly work out over the weekend. That's not how this works. It cannot compensate. You need to move your body. So what I do, for example, is keep a timer for half an hour or 40 minutes. I have this app on my browser, and then it sort of gives me this the take a break. And then I will take a break, and the way I take a break is go around the house if I'm working from home and take a sip of water, so all of it. So just take a break, move my body around. So there are different ways of doing that. Then balance stress is going to be part of your life. You can't really eliminate stress. And as I said, it's not all stress is bad. It's a chronic stress. So how are you dealing with it, or how are you not dealing with it, right? Are you ignoring it? It's We lead stressful lives, but our body takes it to believe that there is a tiger chasing us, right? So is there really a tiger chasing you? Of course not. I mean, that's very rare, if at all, in this day and age. But our body ends up believing that there's a tiger chasing us, and that's a big problem. And then sleep. I mean, sleep we don't talk about. It's not that sexy. It's much easier to talk about diet and supplements, of course. Exercise maybe, but sleep nobody talks about. There's a reason why we need sleep. It has so many functions. So are you getting regular, deep, and restful sleep? And it's not going to happen on its own in today's day and age. You need to prioritize it, right? You would know that. And then, of course, digestive function. We've talked about gut health enough. So now, by now, you would have understood why gut health is so paramount, right? So these are very, very basic, but very, very important daily choices that you need to start making and you need to change, right? So what I want you to do is, for the workbook, I had put down a few pointers. You can complete them at your own pace, but I want you to just brainstorm 4 lifestyle adjustments, like just small things. And even if you can't do 4 right now, that might be a bit too much. Maybe just do 1 or 2. Like, what are these 1 or 2 things that you will do to change something, like prioritize time, energy, or money. But by that I mean is something as simple as just watch 1 hour less TV of Netflix. I'm just giving an example, before bedtime, and maybe use that time to get do a do a walk after dinner. That's actually what I do at night. I make sure that I walk. I mean, try, not every day, but try and go for a 15 to 30 minutes walk after dinner. So I prioritize that over TV watching or doing something else on screen, right? That's what I mean. It can be as small as that. All these small things add up. So what is that one thing maybe that you can do differently from today that's going to help you make healthy choices? That'll be a healthy choice for you. So I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comments here. And as I had mentioned yesterday, and I'm mentioning again, inside a Facebook group for women only, I am actually doing a giveaway each day of this these 3 days Amazon gift cards for those who are engaging over here and engaging in the Facebook group and sharing all of this. So, sharing what I'm asking, sharing your key takeaways or a breakthrough or a small win or an action step that you're going to take. So, share here, share in the Facebook group, and then let me just keep moving forward. You can put it in the comments if you're watching on Facebook. Put this in the comment below. One step that you will take that will be a healthy choice for you, because I want you to understand that you can start here, right? You can start here. Let's not complicate the process of healing. I would like to simplify it. In fact, I have a 3 pillar framework that I have for my coaching, and the first pillar is simplify. I want to simplify this process, right? So it's about reducing inflammation, rebalancing immune function, reducing the trigger load, and healing the gut lining. It is, I said simple, not easy, right? But you will find that as you start progressing, as you start making the changes, as you start listening to your body, as you start appreciating what your body does for you, and realize that your symptoms are actually messages in disguise, it does become easier. And Shonali will talk about it in a bit. I'm going to bring her on to you can hear from her, and you heard from Palak yesterday. It does work. It works wonders, because a lot of times these are the 3 common mistakes I find that people make, that they rely on the experts for all the answers. Of course, you need medications, interventions, treatments, diagnosis. All of that is important, and for that you need to rely on experts. But if you wait for their permission, if you wait for them to tell you exactly, what to do, then that's not going to really happen. Most likely, you're going to wait for a really long time, or people then rely only on medications to find lasting relief. There's so many other things that you can do, and I've been talking about them since yesterday. Like yesterday, day one and day two, I've talked about a lot of the foundational things that I just talked about. That's going to actually contribute to finding lasting relief, right? Because your body knows how to heal. You are the one who has to now get out of its way and at the same time support it. And the third thing that most people do is they ignore or suppress their symptoms. I hope by now that slide that I showed you, how disease begins in the gut, tells you how important it is to actually start noticing your symptoms, not to obsess over it, not to become paranoid about it, but really to appreciate the message behind that. So in functional medicine, we say that your symptoms are a gift, right? So you may not want to believe that, but it's a different way of looking at it. Because a lot of times what happens is that women remain stuck, and men, of course, they remain stuck, and these are the common things that I hear them saying, that and this is very, very common. All these, especially in the case I'm talking about autoimmune conditions now, these are complex chronic conditions, and these are the worries that people have, right? And I don't want you to be stuck here. I don't want you to uh, continue to believe that you don't have the power, you don't have any role to play. You have a major role to play in your own healing journey, and I want you to start today. I don't want you to waste even 1 second after this. And I certainly don't want you to remain being at war with your body. I hope by between day one and day two, you've now slowly understood why these things are happening, why is the immune system so dysregulated, and why the disease progression is continuing to happen, and what you can do about it, right? So, but stop being at war with your body. It's not something that is doing or betraying you. It's actually trying to keep you safe in its own way. Because as I've been talking about it, your symptoms are actually a gift in a way, right? And it may not seem that way, especially when we are in major pain and fatigue and all of that. But the reason that I frame it this way is that it helps us to appreciate the messages behind the symptoms, right? So, and we need to be guided by our own bodies if we are to get better long term. I'm talking about long term solutions. I'm not talking about quick fixes, right? You are here because you're looking for a long term solution. You want to go beyond symptom management. That's why you're here for this masterclass, right? So I want you to understand the language of your body. And the way you will understand the language is by first believing that your symptoms are these messages and your body is trying to get your attention, right? So, and you can do this in very different ways, keeping journals, symptom trackers, there are many different ways. And I guide my clients how to do this. Their questionnaires, movements, so morning getting up and writing in a journal, gentle practices, stillnesses, meditation, mindfulness. There are many different ways where we can actually be still and focus. We are, sort of in such a big hurry all the time that we don't really pay attention. And I want you to start paying attention today. And this is another action step that I want you to take. You can share here, or you can share in the Facebook group, which is only for women, because I want you to now shift the way you think about all of this, right? Because at the end of this week together, we actually have two bonus Q&As coming up on Thursday and Friday after day 3, which is tomorrow. I wanted us to shift gear, shift and take you on a journey. And I hope that you will get a lot of these tools, and this is one of them. So I want you to write down for yourself, even if you don't want to share. What do you think your body is trying to communicate with you? Like one symptom, right? So I'll give you an example. It might be that your headache, maybe you never thought about it. Maybe it's just a sign of dehydration, that you're not having enough water, right? I mean, that's typically the most common reason for a headache. So I'm just saying that at your own level, and we underestimate the knowledge that we have of ourselves, because we are so used to not thinking and connecting with our bodies that we've lost that. When we were young children, babies and young children and toddlers, we were completely in tune. We knew when we were hungry, when we wanted to sleep, and we would believe, we would let our parents know, right? As young children do, but we lose that connection. So I want you to sort of get back into that connection, because your body is a self-healing organism, right? And the body guided approach that I've been talking about is all about the fact that your body is your friend, and it's about increasing awareness about your body and supporting your body's healing process. So combining the what and the why is what I do. So we've been doing a lot of the what and the why here. So which is about what is going on, what disease you have, and why do you have it, which is the functional medicine bit. This is how I describe it. This is not an official description, or a definition rather. This is my definition over years of experience. And the how is the coaching part of it, which is that how do you make changes, how do you sustain those changes, how do you shift your thought patterns, your behavior, mindset, how do you change, right? We're talking about change a lot. And it all starts by laying a strong foundation, and I've been talking about it from day one. It's about laying a strong foundation where you are eating hygiene, mindful eating practices. Again, I keep going back to strong foundation, healing environment, because that's where true transformation happens. And I call it transformative healing. It goes much beyond whatever you could also possibly imagine. So sleep hygiene, bedtime routine, your diet has to be unique to your body, not because somebody else is following something. Nourishment beyond food. It's not just nourishing your body, it's nourishing your mind too. That itself. So vitamin J I talk about, which is joy. People don't talk about vitamin J. So I talk about vitamin J a lot. Vitamin P, which is pleasure, right? We talk about vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C. Are you taking this supplement? That's not enough, right? It works to a certain extent, then after that it doesn't. So vitamin P for pleasure, joy. So all of that. So, and this is what actually Shonali did, and she's here today to share her story. And I will leave it to her to share the transformation that she saw. And because I just want you to hear from her what is truly possible. Shonali, I'm going to bring you up now, and I'm going to, yeah, stop this for a bit. Yes, I think you're on mute. You can unmute and you can share. I just want you to share your story, because this is exactly what you did and whatever else you would like to share.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anandita, and hello, everyone. It's a privilege to be on this platform and to share my story of transformation. I think giving the mic to me would be a wrong idea because I think I could just go on and on. Um, I think before I joined Anandita's program and working with her has been amazing. Life transformation 360 degrees. And before I think started working with her, I was in this very bad space. So, like she had mentioned yesterday, your symptoms are just the last straw. That one step before someone diagnosing you with an autoimmune condition. So I had probably been, my body was giving me signs. Maybe I wasn't, paying attention to it. But around 4 years back, my body started giving me signs. I started having constipation, digestion problems, never feeling hungry at all, and a whole host of other symptoms. I basically I have PCOD and thyroid, and struggling with it for like 14, 15 years. A lot of difficulties to even have my first child. And what conventional medicine does is it basically looks at those numbers, looks at your blood work, and just brushes it away and gives you top up medication for everything. That's where I was. Having gone through so many treatments, I felt that my body was behaving awkwardly. I was extremely fatigued. I had zero energy. Even in like at my early 30s, I probably felt like a 70-year-old. And not able to keep up with my kid was even more painful. Not able to be like what she just mentioned in the beginning of the of the session today, of feeling limited, not being able to make plans. So for me, it was just this 5 days in a month when I felt reasonably good, and that's when I decided to invite guests or to do all those things that I wanted to do. And the rest of it, I was feeling fatigued and drained out. That's not how a 30-odd-year-old should feel like. You should feel energetic. You should be able to make plans. And I always blamed my disease condition for thyroid. Or it was maybe because of I have this hormonal imbalance. And I think under this information overload, trying everything, trying little bit of this and little bit of that. I would try it for like a few weeks and then go off the wagon. So that was where I was. And I said, this is enough. And that's when I embarked on this program. And 2 to 3, just a few changes. There have been a whole lot of changes though, but just a few changes. I think mindset shift has that's number one on my list. I think complete mindset shift. Sometimes, like Ananta just mentioned, we are so fixated on supplements and trying the right diet, and I was trying all of that. We forget that there is. For me to reach up to a thyroid or a PCOD condition, I realized after joining the program, it was because of a lot of pent up garbage inside me that was all coming up as in the form of these symptoms. And that mindset shift has been amazing. Through it's come with a lot. It's come very organically. She's helped me with a few book recommendations. Some of her blogs are amazing. You all must read it. The podcast has been amazing. So I had started off when she just started off with her podcast. So all that has I've invested time. You need time for all of this. You need time to see transformation. It's like even yesterday Palak said, it's not easy. You need to invest a little time to see that transformation. And yes, mindset shift would be the first. And someone telling me that you need to nourish your body. I mean, I was berating. I'm expecting my body to respond to a thyroid medication, just the medication, and that's how we all are. We looking for supplements. I'm wanting that one magic pill that can make me feel energetic. But we are so over reliance on medication and not on real foods, nourishing foods. uh, that is something that has happened through this program. I'm not saying I was eating crap. I wasn't eating crap, but I wasn't eating the right balance of foods. And today I think I know what I have on my plate, and I decide, is this going to nourish me? If the answer is no, then that's just going to be kept aside. That's just crap and dummy nutrients, not even nutrients that I'm adding to my body. That has happened. And a whole lot of other things. It's so difficult to even even put across in the confines of this session today. I think I wasn't happy. And I think for like a 38, I was 38, 39 when I joined this 39 when I joined this program. And I was just not happy. um, I would, like I said, just feel 5 days, little happy, and then the rest of the days I would feel dull and down. And I had this tagline was, "I'm feeling tired." My daughter and my family members identified she is someone who's always tired. that's not what I wanted. I've seen relationships changing. Obviously, when you have the energy, you're able to nourish your relationships. So I'm just telling you, these are just few of those positive things that have happened, but there's just many more that's happened. And yes, it's not supplements and only food that's helped me. It's a lot of mindset shift, journaling, meditation. Sometimes just stopping by and not having this go attitude always, just pausing for a while and reflect, self reflection. So yeah, that's
Yes.
just a little bit. And for someone who's looking to start working with start working with Anandita, believe me, this is where hope begins. And if a 30 odd year old can, I can see changes. Yes, I'm healed. Curing is a different chapter altogether, because see, I've got 14 to 15 years of something. It's not going to go away just one fine day. You'll have to work on it. I mean, I have to remove all that crap that's got into my body. That whole realignment is going to take time, but at least I know the roadmap. I've got the blueprint, and I know if I fall off the wagon, then this is what I need to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something for all women out here. I think we have to take charge of our life and not wait for someone wave that magic wand. Your health coach is not going to wave a magic wand or give you a magic pill. That magic lies within you. You need to harness that magic, and she's just going to give you that pathway. And she's going to show you, like Palak said, she's going to show you that light into the dark tunnel. So yeah, that's it
Thank you,
from me.
Shonali. That's a beautiful message. Thank you for all the kind words, but I think more importantly, the message of hope that you've shared with everyone here. And I don't know who actually, I can't, if you can just share your name, it's saying Facebook user here, so I can't make out who this is. That'll be great. She's saying that resonates with every word that you are saying, which is this is a story for so many of us. Honestly, I interact, and this is a story for so many. And I brought Palak and Shonali, just to show you what is truly possible. I want you to leave with a different kind of approach from these 3 day series, if nothing else. If that is the only thing that you take away, that there is hope, that there is a way out, that there is another way, right? You don't have to be stuck here for the rest of your life. Shonali, thank you so much. Just be there. If there are any questions, you can answer that. It's a lovely, lovely way, that you shared. And I'm going to just complete the rest of the presentation, uh, because the last part, okay, this is done. uh, because this is what she was talking about. This is actually a model that I have sort of developed over years. I mean, it's now almost a decade of working with my daughter and with my clients. It sums up what I've learned so far about at how you address root causes at a very holistic level, right? As Shonali said, and I've been saying, as Palak has said, it goes much beyond symptoms, physical symptoms. It goes much beyond that, because I want you to, and I want my clients, and I want you to leave from here with tools that can sustain you for the rest of your life. It's not about what we are doing now. So this is a model that I've developed over years of working. It's an empowering, straightforward, and a step-by-step approach. That's what I want for you, right? So it's as you can read this. It's RENEW, and if you notice, N is nourish your body. For example, N is nourish your body. It's about actually going much beyond diet, right? Shonali talked about that. R is realize your body's. So R starts with realize your body's innate healing potential. So that means that not only are you providing what your body needs to heal, but you're also removing obstacles. And the obstacle might be negative thoughts. Obstacles can mean many things. Obstacles might be certain foods that you are intolerant towards, or allergy, but it can also mean negative thinking, toxic relationship. It can be so many different things. Then embark on your healing journey. So, right, starting on your journey, that's itself is important. Looking at it as a journey rather than as a chore, or that's something. It's because it's going to take time, and she said it beautifully, that it's going to, all of this is going to take time, right? And but this is a path that simplifies this process for you. You have to do the hard work, but it simplifies it. And I think the one thing that gets missing from most people's toolbox or toolkit that I see is the second E, which is embrace self-care and compassion. That is often missing, and I think that is a huge gap between, when between what we want, what we are, where we are, and what results we want to see. Because one, we don't have a consistent self-care routine, and even if we do, we do not practice self-compassion. We will make mistakes, we will fall off the bandwagon, and she mentioned that. But if we do not show ourselves the kindness, and we believe, and we don't show ourselves that kindness, when we have made a mistake, because we believe that it's going to make us weak, it actually works to the contrary, and it forms a big part of my coaching. Because you would show your friend kindness if your friend was suffering, right, and in pain. But we don't do that for ourselves, because when you can do that, you can actually stay motivated, you can actually overcome challenges, you can actually find the strength to continue even when things go wrong, which, in other words, resiliency, right? So embrace self-care and compassion is often missing, and it forms a big, it's an underlying theme across my program, and of course walking the path of holistic wellness. So it is a transformative journey, it is a mental journey, it's a physical journey, it's an emotional journey, right? It's at all levels. Only the physical journey is not enough, because what happens with most people is they make those changes, they make dietary changes, they make lifestyle changes, and then they're back to square one in 6 months, in 1 year, in 1.5 years. I have clients who are in touch with me after 3 years, after 4 years, and they have still been able to sustain many of these things. And I'm almost at the end of my presentation. I will be talking more about this tomorrow, but some of you were basically wanting to know a bit more about what comes after this, which is why I decided to share. For those of you who are watching live on Facebook and StreamYard, you get to hear of this first, that I am opening up enrollment to the autoimmune relief roadmap. It's a 12-week comprehensive and transformative group coaching program, and there are only 15 slots that are available. It's for primarily for early stage autoimmune conditions, which is about a year or 2 years. And even those with unexplained symptoms who suspect that they have an autoimmune condition, it can work for both. And if there are any questions, I will be talking more about this tomorrow. I will be giving you enough opportunities on Thursday and Friday to ask me any questions. I'll be hosting Q&As on Zoom. So don't miss that. If you want to know more about this and find out for yourself, you can actually attend the Zoom calls. You will get a chance to talk to me one-on-one. It is primarily autoimmune, but it can be also that you're not diagnosed, right? You have a whole host of symptoms. It will work for anybody else as well. I focus primarily on autoimmune, which is why I mentioned autoimmune, but it will work equally well with many other chronic conditions, right? So I am going to talk more about it, so we'll have a better idea. But Manoj, if you can share the link of the this the page for this, the link that I shared with you, you can share it in the chat, in the StreamYard, and you can share it in the Facebook group right now. So you can head to this site and you can see the details for today. As I said, I'll be discussing more this, and I'll be sharing more details about it tomorrow. Yeah, thank you for sharing the link. Share the link separately, Manoj, because I don't think it's coming. Yeah, so just share the link separately. Don't write link for the sales page because you can't click on it. So share just the link here and in the Facebook group. And you can also schedule a 15-minute call if you need to, but just wait for that, because I will be talking about this tomorrow in more details on day 3. And so I will keep moving forward, but I just wanted to let you know. Um, just before you leave, I would love to know what is the most valuable thing that you have learned so far. Just drop it. I would love to hear from you. For those of you who have taken out this time, we are at the end of the 1 hour mark. Because and I also want to show you what we are going to be covering tomorrow. We're covering some important topics which will sort of round this all up. I think by now you've understood the importance of not only focusing on diet, supplements, physical health, and all of that, which is very important, but you're also missing out a lot of things. So what is usually missing, why I believe that healing toolkit and why it's not working for you, and what is emotion and mental toll. And of course, I'll be talking more about the autoimmune relief roadmap program tomorrow. Yes, thank you for sharing that. It's not only me, and it's healable. Yes. I would love to hear from you. What has been the most valuable thing that you have learned so far between day one and day two. Before we leave, we are done with the presentation for today. I will see you here tomorrow at 12 p.m. You will again receive a link for StreamYard, or you can watch it on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, put in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. What has been your most valuable thing that you've learned so far, or one key takeaway from today's session? You can also share one key takeaway from yesterday as well. So between yesterday and today, uh, I think one of you have shared. If you can share your name, I can't make out who this is. It just says Facebook user. I'm just going to give you a minute and then we will part for the day, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 12. So if you can just share. Priyanka. Okay, great. Thank you, Priyanka. I could not make out who this is. So just share before we end. What is one thing that you are taking away? Share it in the comments in the Facebook group or share it in the chat before we end. What is one thing that has been really valuable for you? What is your one key takeaway? I would love to hear from you. Do share it in the chat below or share it in the comments for Facebook. So I'm going to give you a minute or two. I know there is a lag between when I say it and when you um, put it in the chat. Thank you, Priyanka, for sharing that. Anybody else wants to share? In any case, I will see you back here tomorrow at 12 p.m. And I hope that you have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you tomorrow.